All right. So we have given a couple more minutes. So let's start the session. Uh, Welcome all to this session or webinar where we are actually going to understand and talk about how do we manage kitchen waste and modern approaches towards solid waste management, and how a vermicompost or composting mechanism rather basically takes place. So this is what we are actually trying to take you through the next 45 to 50 minutes. But before we get into the session, what we also wanted to understand is we're just going to run a very small poll. So Praveen, is it okay if I can actually take the screen from you for a minute?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
Okay. So we actually got a lot of nominations, but I think since it's being a warm Christmas Eve evening, so we don't have much participants today, except for like around about 10 to 12 participants. But it's still worth to do this poll. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share a link to all of you, and what I expect from you is I wanted you to write what one word or probably maximum of two words on what do you expect from this training. So it's a simple task. All you need to do, just go to the link which I'm going to share through the chat and just type in what is your key expectation from this training or from this webinar. I would not call it as a training because I know most of you are basically from the field. So we just wanted to understand your expectation, and that will help us basically to calibrate and fine tune our future training. So I'm going to share my screen. That way you can also see how the votings or how voting, basically everyone can see uh, what is the feedback or what is that your what is others view about their expectation. Okay, let me go back to the WebEx. I'm going to the chat. Let me just send the link. Okay, the link is on your screen, and can you all see my screen? All right, the poll is on. So I would request you to type one word or two word on what is your expectation from this training. So people who have just joined late, uh, there is a link in the chat window. Please do enter the link and just let us know what is your expectation from this training. Is everyone able to get into the link? We still don't have the result yet. Okay, we have someone saying hope. Good. What else? I see hope. What else do you expect from this training? Practical experience. Okay, practical experience. Okay, good. Okay. For people who have joined late, there is a link in the chat window. I'd request you to just go and participate on the poll and just give us what is that you expect from this training. So we have practical experience, knowledge, hope, which is coming up. Anything else? Oh, people, we have to just be vocal, because let's know what is the expectation, so that we will be able to help you out with what can be done. I got just 3 response. I'm going to give you 2 more minutes. Looks like this crowd is a little bit innovative idea for composting. All right, good. Anything else? So we have 4 words: innovative idea for composting, knowledge, practical experience, hope, reducing environment pollution. Thank you. That's a good one. We've got 5 responses till this moment. We've got 60 more seconds. And I'm expecting at least two more of those expectations. Right, last 30 seconds. Last 10 seconds. All right, so when you summarize it, what we have actually is, like, we wanted to see if there are any innovative ideas for composting. We wanted to see how we can contribute to reducing environmental pollution. We also wanted to gain some knowledge about various methods of composting. I'm not very sure about the practical experience, but yes, we will actually provide you the insights on how the composting basically can happen in a practical environment. And we would make sure that we would deliver and meet your expectation. So that's basically what I wanted to first touch base before I move on to the program. So Praveen, over to you. You can share the slides. So once again, welcome to the call, welcome to the webinar. So in the next 40 minutes, we have Mr. Praveen, who is heading the agronomy for Mythree Solution. And Praveen has been instrumental in driving certain specific projects and researches in the field of agriculture. He's also doing a specialized research on zero tilling, and he's also actually involved in understanding the landscape of or understanding the demography of floriculture in the district of Palakkad. So he's actually working on quite a lot of such research activities. He's also taking care of farm management projects or managed farm projects for Mythree Solutions. So if you look into what Mythree Solution does, for people who have not attended any of our programs in the past, or if they have not attended any internship programs of the past, we are an agriculture consulting company. We deliver end-to-end solution in the world of agriculture, right from training to supplying of resources to fabrication and erection and commissioning of agri infrastructure, which includes polyhouses, net house, greenhouses, or anything of that sort, like tunnels and things like that. And we also provide a post-harvest management and market research insights to our growers. So that's basically what Mythree Solution does. The agenda or the objective of this program is just like how one of you responded, saying that how do we make use of the waste that we see in our everyday life, the kitchen waste, to something which is more valuable to the environment. So our idea for today's discussion is to understand the roles and preparation towards a kitchen waste management and how a vermicomposting system operates. So I'll hand over to Praveen. Praveen, over to you. I think you're all eager to understand how innovation can be applied out here. So over to you. Looking forward for the wonderful session.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Is my slide visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So good evening, all of you. Welcome to this is our 7th webinar in the agriculture department, and the webinar is related to key roles and the preparation towards kitchen waste and the vermicompost. So why we need to take the very current scenario related to kitchen waste and the vermicompost? Because we know that according to the United Nations Development Program, we have to find out up to 40% of food produced in India is wasted. So in the COVID era also, if you're taking care of that one, so in according to which Agriculture Ministry, rupees of 50,000 crore worth of food produced is wasted every year. So that is the current data that is delivered in the Ministry of Agriculture. And if you are taking care of that one, India ranks 63 among 88 countries in Global Hunger Index, and wastage of food is not an indicative of hunger or pollution. But also we can say that many economic problems in the economy such as inflation, etc. So only the government policy are not responsible for the problems we are facing today. But our culture and the tradition are also playing a lead role in the drama. And in India, bigger the wedding and the larger the party and more closer the waste. So like that way we are wasting the food. So not only the kitchen waste and other waste, so we have eating and the waste which we are throwing in the river, and we can say that in the land which is not a cultivated, non-cultivated area, like that we are throwing. So why food waste is an issue? That is a main question that is arising all over. Then why the food waste is an issue now? Because it is a biodegradable all thing. So we cannot say that more than 40%. We can say that more than 40% is not biodegradable. Only some of the food wastage are biodegradable. And we can, if you are going for the survey and all this, 25% of fresh water used to produce food is ultimately wasted, even as millions of people still do not have access to drinking water. So while wasting food also and wasting water also main issue. And also, approximately 45% of India's land is degraded primarily due to deforestation, unsustainable agricultural practices, and excessive groundwater extraction to meet the food demand. And we have also, if you're taking the survey of 2020, 300 million barrels of oil are used to produce food that is ultimately wasted. And also we can say that the vast majority of world's hungry people live in developing countries like India, where 12.9% of population is undernutrition. So means we are under developing country also, we are wasting the food and we are not serving to other people for that. So poor nutrition causes nearly half death in the children under 5 to 3.1 million children each year. And out of 6 children, roughly 100 million in developing country is underweight. 1 in 4 of the world children are stunted, and in developing countries, proportion can be rise to 1 in 3. So this is the food scenario and the food wastages we are doing that. So how can we say that how we can conserve the food and all things? So if you are talking about the food waste, we can categorize into 2 parts. That is, one is the food loss and second one is the food waste. And that is a category of food wastage. One is food loss and second is the food waste. And if you come under the food loss, how the food are losing? First one, agricultural production and harvest. Through this we can lose the food, and also during the processing of food products like cereals, pulses, or even we can go for the vegetables, etc. So like that way we have to losing the foods. And if you're talking about the next one, that is the food waste. That is, first one is distribution and retailer. That is mainly we know that actually if you are going for the distribution or the retailer, the packaging and the transporting and the way of packing it, that are determining the wastage of food. If you're not proper packing, it will automatically by through the transportation or by giving to the customers holding, it will automatically waste. And next category, that is restaurant and catering. In restaurant, more about if you are coming 100 people per day, they will serve for 200 people. So that waste, most of the foods are wasted through that way. And next to that is the main thing, that is the domestic consumption. That is the main problems that we are facing here, and we all over India they are facing. Or if you are including the world, they are also facing more things. So depending upon the developed countries, developing countries are more contributing in the food waste. So we are Mythree solution. What we have to give here is the idea of how to sorry. The Mythree solution here, we are what is contributing is how to we are sustainably we can use the food wastage, and what are the ways which we are going to manage the kitchen waste, and how make that very useful for our agricultural production all things. So if you're talking about the what are the causes of food wastage, first one is the lack of communication and the cooperative between the farmers, and second one, that is the premature harvesting, and third one, that is the retailer, that we already discussed, that to retailer and the customers while we supplying. So that are the one thing. And during the consumption, because we are not taking the what is the enough food which we need for a per day, because we are taking the excess for the consumption, and we are not eating the full quantity. So that is also a part of food wastage. And next one is the excess production also, that also causes the food production wastage. So if you are talking about if you are taking the United States Environmental Protection Agency, that is they given a food recovery hierarchy. That is, first we can say that is a source reduction. That is, reduce the volume of surplus food regeneration. And second one is the food hungry people. That is, donate extra food to food banks, soup kitchen, etc. Or third one, that is feed. We can feed the animals. That is the divert food scrap to animal feed. And next one, that is the industrial uses. That is provide waste oil for rendering and the fuel conservation for that. And fifth one, that is the composting, because we are creating a nutrient-rich soil amendment. And for last one, that is the last resort to disposal. That is the incrimination. So if you are going about the composting and all things, we know that composting, it is a process which we are going to deal the wastage of kitchen or whatever we waste, biodegradable waste, we can use, and we can use it as a byproduct for the cultivation or for the sales and all things. So compost is derived from the biological decomposition of organic matter, that is, which include vegetables, cereals, pulses, or the whatever the biodegradable production we can compost. But how we can compost? That is accumulating by mixing and peeling to promote aerobic or anaerobic decomposition we can take out. So a fermentation process will be taking place inside the composting, and which turns material into good organic fertilizers. So in a good compost heap, the temperature will increase because of the composting process and can reach 55 to 60 degrees Celsius. So that is a figure, that is a diagram that is showing in that. In the way of anaerobic composting, that is organic matter, and that is for the microorganism, that is of bacteria, fungi, whatever. And it will go for the nematode and protozoa, they will act with that. And next, that we can go for the ants, beetles, septibite, worms, etc. And we will get the compost. So here what we are going to do is how to set a compost and how to utilize the kitchen waste or the waste which we are producing domestic and also the commercial. But here, that is, we are only dealing with the biodegradable and agriculture waste. That is more commonly we are found in the India. And the rest of the non-biodegradable wastage that we will discuss in the next webinars that we will conduct soon. So what are the objectives we here focusing is? First one is to produce a beneficial product from agro-solid waste. And second one, to replace the organic content of the soil. And third one, reduce the greenhouse gas production to protect the environment. And fourth one, there is a better understanding of basic concept regarding anaerobic crop. And next one, that is to explain operational techniques to control composting process and to solve physical problems encountered during the digestion and to ensure recycling, reprocessing, and energy recovery. So these are the objectives we are taking place in this webinar. So we have so many different type of innovative approaches or innovative process that we come from the compost technology. So if you are talking about the composting, that is actually composting is a biological process in which microorganisms decompose organic matter and lower the carbon nitrogen ratio, that is of C/N ratio of the substrate. And it is generally prepared from organic waste materials such as crop residue, household wastage, etc. Hello, those who are not muted, please go for mute. Okay, thank you. So there are different methods of composting we can go for. That is a bag or sack anaerobic composting, and New Zealand bin composting, and bucket or bin composting, and covered static compost heap. And next one, that is a submerged composting of waste, crops residues and the household waste. So if you're talking about the method of composting, first one, the available residues in the farms are collected and stored till they form sufficient mass of compost making. So that is the main thing we have to focus. We need to collect the residue, whatever in the domestic or the commercial aspect we have to collect. And next, what we have to do, a trench suitable size. What is a trench size which is suitable? Because we need a base material so that we can compost easily there. So what is the size of that one is 4 to 6 meter long and 2 to 3 meter broad and 1 to 1.5 meter deep. And the accumulated residues is well mixed and spread in a layer of 30 centimeter in thickness along with the length of trench. So this layer is well moistured by sprinkling cow dung slurry and water over it. A second layer that is a first layer, that is of thickened layer, that is of residues, that is which we are using it may be the domesticated waste or the commercial waste, or it should be a kitchen waste. We can use that thing. And what is the second layer we are using? That is the same identical thing, the thickness we have to take and mix the residues, then spread over the first layer. We can mix all the things. It is of soil or it is of some paper like biodegradable papers and the cotton, all thing we can take. And the process is repeated till the heap rise a height of 45 centimeter to 60 centimeter. So the top is then covered with a thin layer of soil, and after 3 to 4 months of decomposition, the mass is taken out from the trench and formed into a conical heap above the ground. So we can say that moisture within the water is necessary and covered with the soil, that we have to ensure the moisture content so that we have to get a good compost after that. So if you are going for the composting, that is of, we can say that is of 2 or 3 types we can go. So it is of, we can go for the biogas production through this kitchen waste and all things. And second one, that what are the waste after the 3 months, what are the waste which we are getting after decomposition of this waste, what are the things which we are getting that we can sell in the market also, that is in the name of composting, and we need to take some certification regarding that. So what are the place you are selecting, that should be proper and it should be a proper maintenance, and it not to disturb the wall neighbors, and it should good facility to provide the water and should provide the transport, etc. So that we can make a good compost in through this kitchen waste. So this is the process. This is the diagram that is showing the processing of the composting. This is the very recently and the more innovatively we are presenting in our company, and we are set up more than 50 compost in all over the farms in the Kerala. And the processing is simple, and this is the main method because we need not to keep a fixed or that permanent compost pit for making the compost. We have a temporary, or this will according to the quality of the pit or the cover which we are using all things for the compost, the base, we can say that the base that should be quality, and that we can use up to 3 to 4 years still we can use, and after that we can replace that. Also it is even very cheap compared to the permanent structure. So in this figure, we can see in the plastic base that is of the different size we have to get. That is of 4 into 4 into 4. That is of only feet. That is up to feet. That we will get to only 850 rupees, and we can get up to 300 kg of vermicompost or the compost. And if you are using the size bag of 8 into 4 into 2. That is only cost 1,200, and we will get 750 kg of output. And if you are using 12 into 4 into 2, that is of cost 1,500, and we will get around 1.2 tons of output from this composting. So what are the things that is very essential for making a vermicompost? That is first one, that is a vermi bag that is available in the market, that is shown in the figure, that is a green. That is size, depending upon the size, it will vary the cost and all things. So if you are going to start a initial or the pioneer, or we can have a startup. For a startup, we have to take a size of 4 into 4 into 2 because it will cost only 850 rupees, and we will get a yield of 300 kg output after the 45 days. So that we know that in the market there is a demand of vermicompost is increased, and we can sell up to, for 1 kg we can sell up to 60 to 85 rupees we can sell it, and we will get a good yield also. And if you are going for the what are the things which we have to go for this composting for the vermicompost, and first one that is of vermi bag that we discussed, and second one is the coconut batter, and third one is the cow dung, and fourth one is the jangri, and fifth one that is the waste compost, that is of if we can use the kitchen waste and all things for that one, and sixth one is the coir pit, and last one that is of buttermilk we can use. So if we are going for this making, first we need to set the vermi bag according to the area. So you select the area which is high altitude and that altitude, because it needs a slopy area we will select, because we need to collect the vermi wash, that is after 40 days, 40 to 45 days we can collect the vermi wash. That is also good product, and we can sell in that one. And it contains, if you are talking about the vermicompost, it contains nitrogen of 1.2 to 1.6%, and of phosphorus that is of 1.8 to 2%, and of potassium that we will get 0.5 to 7.75%. And we will get a species that is a material that is before going to, that is we will get the species of earthworm used for vermicompost in India, that is of Eisenia foetida.
I'm sorry, I think you just need to give a minute because I think the slides are not moving.
So it is in the processing of composting, is there?
Oh yeah, it is there. Yeah, sorry about it.
Yeah,
go ahead.
yes. Okay, so we can use the species like Eisenia foetida or Eutridas evento, That is the 2 species, that is African worms of 2 species available in India. So if you are going for that one, if for 1 kg, it will cost around 90 rupees for that. And if we can know that if you are going for the primitive or even that one, if you are digging the soil, we will get a hands of earthworms. But nowadays it is not getting because of we are using the chemicals or we are using the land for another purposes. So we have to buy the earthworms from the external sources also. So if you're talking about earthworm is physically an aerator and a crusher, and we can say a mixer, and chemically a degrader, and biologically a stimulator in the decomposer system. So if you're talking about the processing, that is the main processing of composting, first we have to suit the favorable condition, we need to set the land. So if you are choosing the location and where which we are going to place the composting, you select the location that will proper aeration and the moisture and the temperature also. And what are the first we need to, after composting, we need to check the pH range, which we should be ranges from 6.5 to 7.5. We can say that that is a neutral pH we need to maintain. And next one, we have to maintain the moisture of 60 to 70%. And third one, we have to aerate 50%. We need the aeration, and we have to maintain the temperature of 18 to 35%. The 18 degrees Celsius to 35 degrees Celsius, we have to maintain the temperature. So this is the things we need to focus, or the precautions which we have to take. So let's move to the processing. First off, what is the thing? We have to set up the vermi bags. So we have to set up the vermi bags. That is the structure we can get. So mostly prepared in either pit or heap method. In the shady area in the farm, we can prepare that one. So here we are using the dimension of 10 into 4 into 2 feet. And in the first layer that is shown in that one, the first layer, that is a bedding material of 1 inch thick with the soft leaves we have to fill. And the second layer we have to fill 9 inch thick, we have to fill organic residues layer, finely chopped material we have to fill, that is of kitchen waste like leafy or the whatever the vegetables we are throwing that in the from the domestic. So that we have to fill in the second layer, that is of 9 inch thick. And the third layer that we are going to discuss, that's a cow dung plus the water in the equal mixture of 2 inch thickness. We have to make the third layer and continue the layer up to a ground level and up to maintain also 45 centimeters. And we have to cover that. After that, in the last one, we have to cover that one with we have to use the bags or the gunny bags or the plastic bag we have to cover, because we need to rest. I already told you that moisture we have to 50% moisture we have to retain that one. So we have to retain that one, and regularly we have to check the water percentage, and we have to watering in the upside. So this is the process, and after that, after 45 days, we will get an yield according to the size which we are going to use during the composting. So next one, that is what are the things which we have to do and what are the things which we do not to do while the composting. So in this figure, that is the automatic composter, that is also the innovative approach that is we are providing here. So what are the things which we are going to do? That is the first one. We have to mix the right mix and the proper proportion, as I told you the before slides. So we have to mix the proper right mix. And second one, that we have to monitor the frequently monitoring. We have to monitor the water and the temperature. We have to test by the thermometer and the pH meter and hydrometer, all things we have to test that one. And third one, that we have to maintain the pH of the compost, that is 6.5 to 7.3. That is nearly equal to neutral pH we have to maintain. And we have to maintain the carbon and nitrogen ratio. That is, if you are going for that one, we know that if you are using the kitchen waste and domestic waste, we can say that there is we are more of using more. If you are going for the foreigners or the India, mostly they will use the green leaves or the leafy vegetables more. So there is a very high demand of nitrogen content morely present in this crop. So we have to maintain the carbon nitrogen ratio in that one. So if basically if you are talking about that ratio, that is of 20:1 ratio we have to maintain in the composting. So if you are using the automatic ratio, automatic composting, we have to maintain of 15:1 ratio of CH. So how to check these things? That is a regulator that is available in the market. So that while through this we can check these ratios and all the things. So these are the things which we need to do while composting. And next one, what are the things we did not do during the composting? First one, avoid the opening lid frequently, because we know just if we need to avoid these things, because if you are avoiding frequently we are opening the lid and thing, it will cause some of the things like damage of this compost. And second one, that is excess moisture and the nitrogen that I discussed earlier, because if you are not maintaining the proper moisture and all things, the worms or the survival of the microorganism in the compost, it is very difficult in there. So that we have to maintain these things. And second one, animal meat or bones, because we can't we cannot make the compost during this animal meat or bones. We cannot compost during this earthworms and all things, because it will take more time. Because if you are comparing the vegetables or cereals or the biodegradable products, it compared to this animal meat or the bones, it will take 2 to 3 times more time, 3 to 3 times more time to decompose. So if you are going for the automatic or in the startup, do not need to keep the animal meat or the bones during the initial day, because if after the startup of this thing composting, we can make that particular solution we have, and we can make that composting during this using these bones and all that. So initially we are not going to keep this animal meat, and because it will take more time. That is, I said you 2 to 3 times more time it will take to compost or to decompose these things. So these are the things that is we have to do or do not do while the composting. And next one, what are the problems involved in the composting? That means that is the first one, that is the environmental issue it will get, because we know that if you are not covering with a proper cover or we are not close the chamber or thing, it will make the smelly outside that, because the waste material which comes from the waste will be decomposed during the processing of composting. So there may be a smell or the smokes which are out from this composting. So it will make the environmental pollution. So we need to cover this with the proper, and we can avoid this problem of environmental issue. We can avoid that one. And next one, that is the material do not compost, because we need to keep the biodegradable wastage so that it will compost easily. And next one, that is soupy compost. That is what we say. That is after washing of the vegetables, or even we can after the washing of the bowls and all this. But here we do not use the soaps during the bowl, because first wash anyway we will do with the running of water. So that way we can keep it during the composting. And next one, that is the foul smell over the area that we explained. That is we have to cover with the proper thing so that we can avoid this problem. And monitoring the compost, that is we explained earlier, and quality and the stability of compost, because if you are maintaining these kind of things, pH, moisture, temperature, and the material which we are using, that we can say parent material, so that we need to maintain in the proper, so that we can get the quality and stability. We can maintain the quality and the stability of compost. So through this we can solve the problems involved in the compost. So if you are going for the benefits of the anaerobic composting, before going for the benefit, I will add, because we cover the what is the material and how to set a vermi bag that is in the startup, or if a permanent bag, permanent structure, that we discussed both, and what are the things we have to do and do not do, and the problems and how to solve these things we are covered here. So before going to the benefits of things, if you're talking about the turnover of the compost, we will get the turnover of 75%. We will get the turnover. So the total material accommodated in the pit is 1000 kg. If you are taking that is of 1000 kg, we are keeping the material. We will get out of the first ton, we will get 750 kg. We will get from that. So that much thing we can sell in the market, and we will get the good product quality and stable product from the composting. So we will get a good yield also. So if you are going for the conversion rates, all things, so I talked to you about the earthworm. 1000 earthworm may convert 5 kg waste material per day, and 1000 worms weighs about a kilogram. So if you are taking about that in the conventional way, 1000 earthworm may convert 5 kg waste material per day. So by that way, if how much kg you are using in the composting, like that we can manage with the earthworm required during this composting. So if you are going for the application rate of the composting, first one, it can be applied in any crop at any stage we can apply, and it could be more beneficial if mixed with the soil after the broadcasting. And the rate of application, if you are talking about the rate of application in the field crops, we will apply the compost. Vermicompost we will apply 5 to 6 tons per hectare we are applying, and for the vegetables we are applying 10 to 12 tons per hectare. And for the flowering or the flower plants like gerbera or the marigold, chrysanthemum, and even the jasmine and roses, we are making of 100 to 200 gram per square feet. We are using this compost. And for the fruit crops or fruit trees, we are using 5 to 10 kg per tree we are using. So there is a demand of composting or the vermicomposting in the market. So if you can start a good pioneer business in your area, because it needed to limited time only we needed, and we can use as a part-time job in that, so that we can get a more yield, and in terms of economy and in terms of money we can get that one. So we can start up a good composting in our area, so that we can avoid these kind of kitchen waste and other things to the environment pollution. All we can control through these things. So this is about the application rate and all things. So if you're talking about, so let's go for the benefits of this composting. First one, it is valuable soil permanent, because it increases the soil fertility and the soil progression, all things. And the vermicompost harbors contain microbial population that helps in nitrogen fixation and the phosphorus solubilization, because we talked that the nitrogen content and phosphorus content and potassium content in the vermicompost or the compost, so that we can make to enhance the soil fertility and soil productivity. So if you are enhancing two things, we can automatically increase the yield, high quality yield, and also the quality of the product in terms of cultivation and all things. And the vermicompost is a rich source of nutrient, vitamins, enzymes, and antibiotics, and also we can say that is of growth hormones. So it gives a disease resistance to plant, because if you are going to manage a farm or going to land, so mainly we will face so many disease and pest resistance, disease and pest attack during the initial days or during the fruiting or flowering stage. So these can be avoided by using this compost material, so that we can enhance, we can support the farmers also. And we can say that the nutrient content of the vermicompost is higher than traditional compost, because we can, if you're taking about that nutrient compost, it is of 1.5% is more than the compost which we are preparing through this kitchen waste and all this. So if you're going for the vermicompost, so focus on the vermicompost by using these domesticated waste and all this. So if you're focusing on the compost of another thing, that is a traditional compost like biogas and all thing like that, we have to focus that area. So there are two different ways to that one. And if the next benefit, that is its application enhance the nodulization in the legumes and symbiotic microbial association with the roots, so that we can get the good yield and good quality products. And So next one, if you're talking about that one, the advantage of the vermicompost, if you're talking about, it improves the taste, luster, and keeping quality of the produce which we are cultivating in that land. And also, because why we are saying the advantage, if you are, because we did the harvest, because after harvesting we need to sell in the market, or we need to use, and we need to suggest a farmer. So we have the compost, or we have the vermicompost with us, and they will ask what are the things why we need to use the compost or vermicompost in a way. So that will, we need to explain what is the advantage of the vermicompost or the compost. So that for that we have to know about the nutrient content that I explained earlier, nutrient content, and what are the benefits or things for this, regarding this compost, so that we can easily sell in the market, and we can get more income, or we can get more revenue from that our product. So that I doing that one. So first one, the advantage, we can say that it improves the taste or texture and keeping the quality of the produce, and it can be used as a rooting medium for the establishment of saplings and nurseries we can use. So even we can use in the, we can sell in the nursery areas, also nursery management area we can sell that. And superiority of vermicompost over other synthetic growth media is more pronounced in the plant nursery, because we can use in the plant nursery more adults. So we can very ready to invest this vermicompost in our area. And it does not have foul odor, as it associated with the manure and decaying organic matter. Because if you're going for the vermicompost, it will not produce any foul smell and foul odor, we can say that, because the worms that will digest, and they will use that for their digestion. So that is about the composting. So if you're going for the what is the conclusion of this webinar, that is we can decrease the garbage volume and environmentally safe and easy disposal and sustainable agriculture input, and we can go for the reduced greenhouse gases and improved composting technique and sustainable agriculture inputs. So these are about the kitchen waste and the vermicompost management. So thank you so much for this wonderful section. So if there is any inquiry, you can ask.
So that's wonderful session, Praveen. So, so there are two more things which are pending for today. One, you would receive a feedback form. We would request you to submit the feedback so that you can get a certificate of participation for this webinar. And before that, again, I would like to take the screen sharing from Praveen. We have one more poll, which will be part of your screen shortly. So what we are expecting is, we wanted to understand from you what is the next session that you are interested in. So this is again a live poll. So I think people can actually see see my screen, and you can basically see the results of the session. So what we just expect from you is a simple thing. We would be happy if you can let us know what is your next point of interest, so that we can arrange the subsequent webinar according to the interest of our participation. Okay, we've got a result. We've got apiculture coming up next. Okay, we've got 27 participants today. So it'd be wonderful at least to get 10 to 15 results on the polling. I hope everyone can see my screen. So we just got one topic. Can we get more, please? Just use the link. You'll be prompted to type in your next point of. That's not something which we can help out. Why is it taking too long to prepare a COVID vaccine? Sorry, I'd be happy to answer that if I knew that, but unfortunately, that's beyond my control. I cannot do that. So tissue culture, yes, that's a good topic. We can do that. Something which is related to agriculture, marine biology. Okay, right. We do have people who are working on seaweeds and things like that. So yes, we can certainly look into that topic as well. Anything else? We've got 2 more minutes. I'll give you 2 minutes to understand the next topic. Stem cell biology. Okay. What next? Let's go to the subjects which are related to agriculture, more closely related to plant production. Anyone who wants anything specific to plant production, greenhouse technology, fertilizer management, fertigations, mushroom spawn production? The innovation in agriculture. Yes, that's an interesting topic. We do have a unit called Grow It. Grow It is a subsidiary of Mythree Solutions. We do a lot of technology-enabled agriculture systems, like whatever Praveen has talked today about composting. We are bringing up a completely automated Alexa-driven uh, composter. So that's something which we can definitely chew up. Tissue culture again. All right. Okay. We've got last 30 seconds. If someone has, we got 7 results, 7 suggestions. Anything else? 30 more seconds. 20, 10. All right. Mushroom. Okay. About GM crops. Wow. That's the last minute 2 additions. That's interesting. Organic farming. Okay. Thank you very much. That is also a good topic. All right. Okay. And we'll also, anyone interested in aquaculture? Aquaculture is also something which I think I'm just putting up some teasers. That's it. All right. So thank you. I think that was wonderful participation. So I'm just going to stop my sharing. You can still type in. The link is active for some time. And protected cultivation psychometric chart. I do have a couple of them from Mr. Shishant. Yes, that's protected cultivation is a good area, and that's a specialist area because we do have people calling up for fan and pad systems quite valiantly, and we probably wanted to understand more about psychometric charts and things of that sort. Yes, thank you. That is a good topic too. All right. So once again, thank you very much for your session, and I also would request you to let me share one more time. I would also request you to look into our YouTube channel for whatever you have had as part of today's session will be added to the YouTube channel. And let me just go to YouTube. There is you can search for Mythree Solutions, and you have this Mythree Solutions. Please do hit the subscribe button, and we will add in these videos by latest by tomorrow evening or early day after tomorrow. So I request you to put in your subscribe button there. You click on the subscribe button there so that you can be sure that the videos are hitting your, or you're not going to miss any of those videos, not only for this webinar, but also any other webinars or programs that we are going to conduct in the future. So these are the two things I had to say. We also have the 4th batch of internship program, which is enrollment is on. So people who are interested for internship, please do reach out to Praveen. And I hope you all had a wonderful time today. So Praveen, over to you for the feedback form and related activities.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So here I am sharing the link for feedback form. So in the chat box, I share that one. So we will get the automatic certificate after the fill up of this thing. So if there is any inquiry regarding this subject or the topic which we today's lecture, and also any interested topic, you can contact me through our mail or the in the Facebook or thing. So thank you so much for the wonderful section. Thank you, sir, for your valuable time. Thank you all.
Thank you all. And we look forward for your participation in the future. Thank you.